Hey, what's going on, guys? So, I just shot this live video a while ago, but we are 28 weeks down. I had to reshoot this because it was like flickering in the background, and like me watching it, I couldn't even focus on what was going on because the light was just flickering, 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 but there was no light flickering. So, it was just really weird. I turned off some lights, and now we are here. Um, in this video, so I just want to talk to you about where we are at and where we are going. And I kind of want to give you a little bit of insight on like what is done through this service provider that our other service provider did not have, that helps you scale to a bigger and better capacity for any new Amazon automated store owner. And so I'm going to get into that towards the end of the video, so keep watching through, but I'm going to jump right into this and tell you like I used to before the camera went down. Unfortunately, that's just part of the process. Things happen, and you have to adjust. And with that, I'm using a different camera, and so it's just going to work. I can't use my phone because you need 1,000 subscribers to be able to go live from a mobile device via YouTube now. So with all that, I'm going to jump into the totals of what we've gotten since this store has gotten started. And we started this store back in July, yeah, July 3rd, 2019. And so right now it's, what is it, 21st of January 2020. So we're a little bit past 6 months. Now, of course, there was a couple things that happened along the way that has made progress a little bit more slow, but I'm super pumped about the next 1 to 3 months. And I think you guys should be too, because we have some amazing things that are going to scale our store a lot faster and a lot more efficient. Because not only are we going to get big sales numbers, we're actually going to keep the profits to it. And yeah, it's just super exciting. So, with that, I'm going to jump into our totals. We've sold 249 items altogether since the beginning of our store. And we've returned 36 items. So, that's just part of the game. Things happen. People don't want items no more, and you just have to return stuff. So, with that, our total amount of sales is $16,019.78. Um, and our average sale per order item is $64.34. Now, all of this was with the prior service provider, which they did a decent job, but there was no metrics for like improvement. There was no things that were going to allow you to ensure you're making at least 10% profit margins and you weren't dipping below. Now, also, the quality of the service was dependent on your virtual assistant, which was a foreign person that was not good at English sometimes, or they were really good at English and they're really good at their job. Sometimes you'd have virtual assistants that were like, "Hey, I will do my job for like 2 days and then not the rest of the time." And then you have other virtual assistants that are like, "I want to get paid and make some money, so I'm gonna grow your store as to the best of my ability, so that everyone wins." Now, with this current service provider, we have a great team in the Philippines that is all educated via college, and they're fluent. They're fluent at speaking English, so you don't have to worry about that. They strive to get all of your customers questions or comments or concerns that they send to your store answered within 24 hours. So that is just like super exciting, because now you can know that you're going to have good English. Your customers that are asking questions are going to get a response very prompt, very fast. Now, the thing that I wanted to tell you about the new service provider that is going to allow you to scale even better and more efficiently is going to be due to the tier system that they have. So when you get started with your store, you get a store, you start off in tier one. What is tier one? It is where you are able to sell anywhere from zero to $10,000, and you're able to get all of that done for your first 1 to 2 months. Now, Of course, you have a 90-day probationary period. So that's going to, allow Amazon to trust your store and be like, yes, you're good to scale it even more and faster, and you're safe. You don't want to do anything that is like super risky within those 90 days because it could trigger red flags. It could trigger Amazon to potentially suspend your account, or at least take a second look and put your account on hold until they figure out what's going on. So with that, you're in tier one, you're selling anywhere from zero to $10,000. And your team recommends that you only use about 80% of it, because Amazon, what do? They pay out every 2 weeks. So with that being said, you're going to have to not use it all. They're going to hold a little bit of the money just in case there are returns. So once you sell at least 80% for 2 months in a row, 8,000 one month, 8,000 the next month, your service provider will reach out to you and they'll be like, "Hey, we've noticed that you've hit your 80% mark of your capital. Do you want to increase your capital to tier two?" Tier two is anywhere from ten to $25,000 worth of funding that you have available. And the same thing will go. Once you hit that for 2 months, they'll be like, "Hey, we've noticed you hit these marks for 2 months." And mind you, all of this is maintaining your 10% profit margin at bare minimum. That is the bare minimum. They have a system in the background that will automatically adjust your price that you're selling your item in your store from the vendor company to be at least 10% profit margin. So no matter what, you're making 10% profit margins on all of it. So $8,000, you're going to make 800. $10,000, you're going to make 1,000. Of course, once you hit $10,000, you're paying your team, what is it? 30% of the profits you make. So you make 1,000, you pay your team 300, you keep 700 for profits. So you just have to keep that in mind, because that's very important. But with all this, you go on to tier three, 25,000 to 50,000 worth of capital that you can use to fund your store. So once you hit, again, 80%, you'll get reached out. They'll be like, "Hey, we noticed you hit this. Do you want to scale more?" Now, at this point, of course, a lot of people will be qualified for payability and other third party service providers to use to be able to scale your store faster, and, not have to wait until you have all the capital yourself to be able to grow your store that high. But with that, you are still taking a massive hit. So to be able to keep the profits in your pocket rather than giving it to a third party provider, it would be wise to use your initial investment credit cards to be able to fund your store, or use a line of credit from a bank, whatever's easier and whatever can work to scale your company faster. But the cool thing about the service provider we're with now is that they are ensuring that you don't have to go out there, rely on a third party company, and give them a huge chunk of change. Just so you can put it into perspective, $100,000, right? You're going to make $10,000 in profits at bare minimum. Now, once you pay your team 30%, you keep 7,000. If you use a third party company, you're going to kick them $2,000 for being able to fund you up to 100,000. Like, it's insane. So you're literally losing so much of the profit margins, from 70% all the way down to 50% is what you're actually keeping. Where if you have your own funding and you scale like the service provider is encouraging, then you're able to, once you're at that tier three, 25 to $50,000 mark, right? You're able to keep anywhere from 2,500 to $5,000 in pocket. Now, of course, you're going to pay your team 30%, but you don't have to pay a third party service provider that money and potentially lose a lot more profit. So, with that, moving right along, tier four is going to be, what is it, 50 to $100,000. Um, as long as you're funded up to that, once you hit that for 2 months in a row, your team will reach out to you, your service provider, be like, "Hey, we noticed you reached or you hit these marks. do you want to move on to tier five? Now, tier five is the highest you can be, and that is $100,000 worth of funding. And the cool part about that is now it's all in your hands. You can choose to go from 100 to 200,000, 200 to 300,000, and they will adjust all your items that are being added to your store accordingly. And I just want to briefly touch over what tier one, two, three, four, and five are when it comes to profit margins per item. So each item that you're going to be selling, tier one, the lowest profit that you're going to make per item is 50 cents. Now, of course, you can have 50 cents up to, I want to say it's like $3. Um, but overall, it's going to be 10% profit margins. Tier two, you're going to have more, one to like $3. Tier three, it's going to be $3 to $5. Tier four, it's like five to $8 or a little bit more. And then tier five is a minimum of at least $5 and up per item that is sold. So with that, now you can rest assured that, like, hey, I'm selling 2,000 in a day or 2,500, like I said, in a day, and not have to worry that I'm not keeping the profits that I should be keeping. So it's just very, very important to have a team that cares long term, because it's not just about the short game. If I come in, I make a whole bunch of money, they shut down my account, or I can't fund my account to grow, then what's the point? There is literally no point. But if you take a model that you can scale and keep scaling your business up so that you can have a lasting asset that is going to make you money consistently and consecutively, that is when things really start to become fun. And that is when you really are able to have a passive income in the background that can just generate you however much, money that you want to scale it to. And so that is just super neat and super exciting and something that I am super behind. So as you can tell, I'm super excited. That is how the new service provider that I'm with is able to scale better than the old service provider, and how the quality of service is just so much higher than it was. And so it's just super exciting, and it actually inspires me more and more each day. But the total amount of inventory items that I have right now is 25 items. Okay. They went through, they took everything out that wasn't profitable or as profitable as it should be. Because, they're starting off the tier system. They want to make sure there's at least a baseline between tier systems, how much money you're making per item, and making sure you don't drop below those 10% profit margin thresholds. Altogether, I average 10%, but there was a lot of items that I sold that would drop below that, and there was a lot of items that I would make like 15 to 20%, and so it averaged out to 10%, but it was still pointless on selling a lot of items that I sold because I wasn't making any money. So they mitigated that by, well, the new service provider did, by ensuring that no matter what happens, you make a baseline of at least 10%, and anything past that is just extra. So with that being said, guys, I hope you receive value from this. If you've thought about, getting started with an Amazon automated service, definitely reach out to me. Drop down in the comment section below, show me, and I will reach out to you. I'll give you a little bit more information on how to get a hold of me and how you can get started for $0 down, which is something I'm super excited about because that's how I got started. And we have third party funding to fund your business right now. So reach out to me, and I'd love to talk to you and see if you qualify for that, and see if we can move you forward onto an automated Amazon store. But as always, guys, thank you so much for watching. Love and appreciate you guys. Um, as always, let's go out there. Let's revive our lives together. Let's get it done. And until the next video, have a good one.